If you trace the timeline of human commerce, you will find a consistent, inevitable pattern. Every paper currency ever printed eventually drops back to its actual intrinsic value, which is zero. Look at this ancient Roman silver denarius. The empire debased its currency, removing silver backing to pay domestic debts until its purchasing power completely evaporated. We see that same steady loss of purchasing power in modern fiat. This £1 coin rests on Bank of England notes, a system engineered to buy less and less with every passing decade. Sometimes the collapse is sudden. These are notes from the Weimar Republic in the 1920s. The government printed so much money to cover obligations that they had to issue 1 million and 5 billion mark denominations, destroying their economy through hyperinflation. And here we have a $50 Confederate banknote, a completely dead currency, wiped out the moment the government that backed it collapsed. What do these examples have in common? Paper currency is a promise made by a government, and history shows us that given enough time, those promises break. Yet the modern global economy is entirely constructed on top of these same fragile paper promises, which presents an interesting contradiction. If the dollar is facing severe, long-term pressure, why does your local bank continually push paper-backed mutual funds? Turn on the television and you'll see mainstream financial commentators laughing at alternatives. They treat hard physical assets like precious metals as a fringe hobby for doomsday preppers. While these assets have historically protected wealth, they are conspicuously absent from standard investment strategies. The ultimate counterargument to paper is gold. As you can see in this grid of historical coins from various eras, gold has served as the default standard of money for 5 millennia. Through 5,000 years of recorded human civilization, gold has never gone to zero. It outlasted the Romans, the British Empire, and every financial crisis in between. Its value isn't based on market sentiment. It doesn't require a government decree to enforce worth, and you don't need a counterparty to make good on it to retain purchasing power. Gold represents a physical constant, a fact that requires no supporting promise. But physical facts aren't limited to ancient history. Take a close look at this physical 10 troy ounce bar of silver. This represents the tangible reality driving our modern economy. Silver is finite, but its demand is structural and expanding rapidly. The modern green energy revolution, specifically the massive global manufacturing of new solar panels, relies heavily on silver's high conductivity. We are also seeing massive demand from the tech sector. The rapid global expansion of modern artificial intelligence requires vast new data centers, all running on components that demand silver. For all of these specialized technologies, physical silver remains the critical, non-negotiable component in everything from medical equipment to complex circuitry. Here is the problem. You cannot print it. You can only pull it from the ground, and current structural demand is outpacing our global ability to mine it. Silver is a finite resource, consumed by modern technology. Unlike paper currency, it cannot be willed into existence. So we must return to our core question. If physical metals are so critical, why won't your financial advisor recommend them? It comes down to the business model. This diagram illustrates how the advisory industry works. It runs on assets under management. When you buy paper mutual funds, that capital generates a cyclical percentage fee looping back to the advisor. But with physical assets in a personal vault, that fee loop instantly breaks. Gold sitting in a safe charges nobody anything. The advisor earns zero. Wall Street ignores hard money for a very simple reason. Wall Street institutions aren't in the business of selling facts. They are purely in the business of selling fee-generating promises. While the public buys paper, generational wealth, the smart money, operates completely outside that mainstream advisory model. They take those fragile paper promises and quietly convert them into hard physical assets, locking them away and holding them for decades. True wealth preservation is boring, and it happens in silence. Serious money relies on physical facts. They don't need public consensus, and they certainly don't boast about it at dinner parties. There is a severe danger in waiting for mass adoption. If you wait for the financial media to give you permission to buy hard assets, the window of opportunity will slam shut. By the time the crowd discovers gold and silver, the price has already permanently moved. You will have missed the entry. You have a choice. You can anchor your wealth in undeniable 5,000-year-old facts, or you can blindly trust a system built entirely on fragile promises. The math of hard money is absolute. But that lesson only protects you if you learn it early enough to act on it.